Ted? Ted Nugent. Where's Ted Nugent? Where's Ted? Huh? Look at you. You doing well? You are a handsome devil. Thank you. Great job, Ted. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.
And now, it's time for Ted Nugent's Spirit Campfire with John Brenkus. It's the physics of spirituality with attitude. Brought to you by My Pillow.
I figured I'd start out with a power chord because my life is a power chord. This is the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire with John Brenkus. And I want John Brenkus to start out explaining to me tonight what is an official vacation versus what it appears that your life is an all-day vacation. What's the difference, Brenkus?
Dude, I don't know. All I know is that your life is the one that we should all be modeling ourselves after because you play guitar and hunt, and that's your job.
Well, yes, amongst other important duties.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm down on there's a strip of beach in Florida called 30A, which is, along the Panhandle, and it is heaven down here. It is absolutely heaven. We're on a spring break with my wife and kids and all of our friends. And first of all, I don't know why they consider this part of Florida because it's actually just southern Georgia. Like everyone from Georgia comes here, and it's unbelievable. And we're at an amazing dinner, but I wanted to join you for the first little bit.
Well, number one, have a wonderful time. Consider you having the official night off on this April 5th, 2021. John Brenkus, my very best and love to you and your family down there. And by the way, the reason everybody from Georgia goes to that part of Florida is because the greatest governor in America, Governor Ron DeSantis, has actually kept Florida wide open. So you're taking advantage of America the way we used to love it. God bless DeSantis. God bless Florida. God bless the Brenkus family and all my Georgia shit kickers that are down there celebrating that with you.
Absolutely. I mean, it is incredible how everything is just open. Now, mind you, I live in Georgia, and Governor Kemp never shut down the state. So, once Trump shut things down in March, Kemp was the first one to open up, and there's never been a mask mandate. So I've been living in a different world than most people because there's all cooped up and all masked up and all, what everybody else has unfortunately had to go through. In Florida, DeSantis, I believe, I agree with you. He's just done an amazing job. And people are so ready to get out of the house and just have a vacation and do something fun. It's incredible. I mean, it is so packed down here. Every restaurant, bar, retailer, everywhere you go, it is just like people and happy people, not miserable people. Happy people. And I'll let you know, Ted, it's also all walks of life. It's like people are just, you got every shade, every possible age group. And it's just amazing. So we're just loving it down here.
Are you telling me that the natural pulse of real America already is well into the diversity column? So you're telling me that the diversity that we all embrace is alive and well in your life and everywhere you go. I say to you, John Brenkus, ditto. Ditto, ditto. Have a wonderful time, man.
Awesome. All right, guys, listen, you all try to enjoy the campfire without me. I know Ted sometimes is at a loss for words, but he's going to do his best. So God bless everyone. I will see you next Monday.
Godspeed, John. Have a great one, man. See you next Monday.
All right.
All right, everybody, this is the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire number, 6,421,992, or whatever it is, but we've been doing this for a long time. Courtney, thank you for controlling the spaceship module over there, because I'm actually astounded. Courtney will tell you, and Herbert and John will tell you, and Shemaine will tell you, and Toby will tell you, Linda will tell you, Doug will tell you. Everybody in my life will tell you, they go, can you believe Ted got on this technology all by himself? Now, Shemaine held my hand the first 30 or 40 campfires, but I've actually got this Mac laptop, and I know how to go to my email, and Courtney supplies me the link, the Zoom link, for the Spirit Campfire, I smack that Zoom link and all these things come up on the screen and I just kind of get rid of them, kind of like a varmint control module. And I end up on Spirit Campfire and I'm Zooming. So welcome to the Spirit Campfire, everybody. We appreciate all your support all this time. We've done, I think it's over 100 shows, isn't it, Courtney? I had to get this information. Courtney and Linda will get it for me. But what a wonderful, wonderful electronic campfire communication this is. Not just here live on whatever this system is. I don't know what the system is. Courtney, this still shows up on my Facebook Live. Is that right? Because I've been promoting it all day. The new time, we're going back to the original time, Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire every Monday night. I said Thursday, something else. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Every Monday night, instead of 8 p.m. Eastern time, now we're going 9 p.m. Eastern time because the sun is just setting down on the Serengeti of Spirit Wild Ranch. And I just got off of Facebook. I did a couple Facebook Lives today. And so far, the Zuckerbergers haven't shut me down completely. We're intensely suppressed because truth, logic, and common sense, we the people, honesty, God, family, country, freedom, law and order, supporting law enforcement, demanding law and order, differentiating between the heroes of law enforcement who make our streets and neighborhoods safe and the engineered recidivism and the unleashed thugs, criminals, punks, and liabilities in our society that are intentionally released with a failed court system, a failed justice system, and we are living in engineered recidivism, knowing, allowing, and creating guaranteed repeat offenders. So I know that the truth, logic, and common sense that I wallow in, that I breaststroke madly up the whitewater rapids of truth, logic, and common sense every day, it's not Ted Nugent hunch sense. It's not my guesswork. Somebody said, I love your political views. No. I don't have any political views. I genuflect at the altar of the Declaration of Independence, experiment in self-government, we the people, including guitar players, the Constitution, the United States Constitution, which all of our elected employees took an oath to, and I think almost all of them are violating each hour, and the Bill of Rights. They're not Bill of Views. This experiment in self-government, the U.S. Constitution wasn't based on any views or hunches or presumptions. They were self-evident truths. My life is guided by truth, logic, and common sense. Self-evident truth, logic, and common sense. And I have to play the soundtrack for it. In fact, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. God almighty, the music I'm making with John Kutz on drums, the Waco Greasem Freesome, Uncle Ted, John Kutz on drums, and Johnny Big on bass guitar. We did a jam session. Courtney, everybody out there, and the people that were there last Thursday at Tucker Hall, and hopefully will be this Thursday at Tucker Hall on Highway 6 in Waco, Texas, the Ted Nugent Greasy Speakeasy. I kid you not, I've been to mountaintop after mountaintop after mountaintop of musical adventure and satisfaction and outrage and ferocity and stimuli and spiritual erectile massive function. No malfunction, massive functionality. But Thursday night, I swear to God, with John and Johnny, we did a Great White Buffalo. And of course, the Great White Buffalo lyrics are so part of our soul. The defiant, truth-driven American soul. That's what that song is about. I went into maneuvers in musical landscape that right now, while we're doing the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire without John Brenkus, while he's going on this thing called a vacation, I'll have to look that up. I don't know what that is. I'm more like Aerosmith, permanent vacation. But literally, while we're doing tonight's April 5th, 2021, Spirit Campfire, there's an argument going on in heaven. God and Michael the Archangel are having a debate, trying to find evidence that what I did on the guitar last Thursday was actually part of his creation. Because I went to places that the physical geography, the topography of a guitar neck, I did things that weren't there. I played non-resident sounds, non-resident maneuvers, just outrageous chords and maneuvers and flurries and melodies and dissonance and lyricism. So if you want to see what happens when a guy at 72 is more stimulated by the musical authority of the American shit kicker soundtrack, John and Johnny and I, with Calvin Ross of Lone Star Music, with Tim and Ashley Tucker and Heath and Hannah, and Taylor with his killer PA system, we are going to be at Tucker Hall, Highway 6, Waco, Texas, I think every Thursday night. We might push it into Friday, but this coming Thursday at 8 p.m., I have Gibson Birdlands that are in heat right now. So it gets a little gooey when I perform on them. But my Les Paul and my Gibson Birdland are cocked, locked, and ready to rock the Glock around the clock, Doc. I'm telling you, the people that were there, you go to my Facebook. Of course, if you're watching the Spirit Campfire, you must already be there. But people have been raving, rightfully so. I'm raving. Some of them said, I've been to over 100 of your concerts. I'm always mesmerized by the tone and the voice of your guitar. But in all the times they've seen me perform, and I'm aware of this. I knew it was happening when it was happening. They've never heard the musical adventure and outrage and dynamics that John and Johnny and I created last Thursday. And I know for a fact we're going to do it again this coming Thursday. So mark your calendar, Thursday night at Waco, Tucker Hall on Highway 6. And I would like to start tonight's campfire to continue thanking everybody for supporting us. Thank you, Courtney, of course. Thank you, Linda, and everybody else. But here's some people. You know, there's a cancel culture. And if you stand up for truth, logic, common sense, we the people, God, family, country, law, and order, if you stand up for goodness, evil, rotten punks will get you fired or take your baseball game out of a state that's actually expanding voting opportunities while they lie through their tooth that they're reducing voting opportunities, and that there's a segment of society that is so inept and incapable and not equal that they can't get identification. Are you kidding me? So with that insanity running amok, I want to celebrate those that support God, family, country. And they can be found on Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild TV. And thank you, everybody, for making Spirit of the Wild one of the top-rated shows. You know, for over 31 years, Shemaine and I have been producing Spirit of the Wild TV, originally on public television, and now on Outdoor Channel for total over 30 years, 31 years, along with the Ted Nugent Camp for Kids, which we're putting on May 15th here in Waco. I'll tell you about that. There's so much going on. I think, Courtney, tell John to take the next 6 campfires off because I got a lot to talk about. But anyhow, I want to celebrate mom and pop businesses that have grown into huge businesses that support everything you believe in. If you believe in God, family, country, being the best that you can be, putting your heart and soul into making sacrifices and taking risks so that you're in the asset column for your family, your neighborhood, in this great country, and your fellow man around the world. Because if you're doing great positive things, it's beneficial to everybody and everything. And here's the people who support Ted Nugent, who's the tip of the spear for political incorrectness, fighting for God, family, country, law, and order in this culture war. And they are the people at Bushnell Optics, Camelot Ridge Resort in Indiana, Remington Ammo, Cold Steel Knives and Cold Steel Broadheads, new archery product broadheads. All you bow hunters out there, but everybody else, listen, if you can support somebody that supports you, you should. Muddy tree stands, Walker's game ears that I wear every day when I shoot and train, Matthews Archery, the best bows in the world, Boss Buck feeders, Bad Boys of Pro Tracker Archery, which have this adaptive sleeve for an arrow for increased penetration. We all love increased penetration. It's a universal celebration. The Bad Boys of Pro Tracker Archery, Northwest Retention, that's nwretentionsystems.com, the best holsters, the best magazine carriers, the best cross-draw holsters, nwretentionsystems.com, Boning Archery out of Michigan, Bohning, not like I'm boning, like when Happy tries boning my shin. Not that kind of boning, Bohning. Boning Archery, they've been around as long as I have. Primos, the great Primos company, Will Primos and his entire team, Tank Blinds, Aaron and his family, Mossy Oak, Cuz, and everybody support us forever. Mike Lindell and My Pillow. I'm going to say it again. Mike Lindell, My Pillow. He didn't just invent the greatest pillow, but he perfected the middle finger for freedom. Cold Steel Knives and their broadheads. United States Conceal Carry Association. United States Conceal Carry Association. Big Time Wildlife Supplemental Feed. Dirty Boar Gun Cleaner. I clean all my guns with Dirty Boar because I don't have any Dirty Boar anymore. I'm going to get Lenny DePaul some of this stuff. It's the best gun cleaning stuff in the world. And Max Motors, Mark Muller and Max Motors. Of course, Sunrise Safaris, TedNugent.com, and the mighty Spirit Campfire. So that's my rave about those companies that defy political correctness and the vulgarity of the cancel culture. And I started out this Spirit Campfire celebrating that when you put your heart and soul into being the best that you can be, you are an asset to your family, your community, this great nation, your fellow man of the world, even Mother Earth. Without positive energy and positive spirit, you have this guy that pretends to be the president and wants to turn us into Venezuela ASAP. But the reason that we're not Venezuela is because of the heroes of law enforcement that I am always celebrating. I've celebrated it forever, all my life. Because when the hippies were calling cops pigs, I was going, no, you're the ones who stink. You're the ones who are drooling. You're the pigs. The cops are the good guys. Of course, during the 68 Democratic Convention, when the cops and the hippies were fighting, I didn't know who to root for. Because the Chicago cops were corrupt and the hippies were just dirtbags. So I appreciated when Eddie's skull got crushed. But anyhow, I digress. Actually, I progress. But tonight, my guest is a guest that we did not nail down last weekend. And he's a true hero of the United States Marine Corps, and he dedicated himself to law and order, law enforcement, safety, and security. The retired commander of the New York, New Jersey U.S. Marshal Fugitive Task Force, the hero, the bad mofo of Manhunter TV, my buddy Lenny DePaul. Lenny, are you in the campfire, Lenny?
Ted, well, thank you for that kind introduction, and I am loving being here in the Spirit Campfire. I can feel the heat from where I'm at, Ted. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Now, actually, Lenny, that's not the heat from the campfire. Those are the flames coming out of my ass. Those are freedom flames. There's a little gang of Boy Scouts behind me cooking marshmallows on the flames out of my ass. But I digress because I'm a fun guy. If you're not having fun with me, you're weird. But Lenny, welcome to the campfire. You and I have literally shared real campfires. But give us a background, because here's a guy who was in the military. That's quite a sacrifice. That's you know you're taking a risk. So you go through the military, you come out of the military, and you become a U.S. Marshal. Then you go into the absolute hell zone of going after the worst scum on earth in New York and New Jersey, which happens to be the epicenter of the worst scum on earth. Tell us a little Lenny DePaul history lesson of why you made those decisions, where the impetus for that kind of risk-taking and making the sacrifices just so you can bring security and safety to your fellow Americans.
Absolutely, Ted. And yeah, the government owned me for about 34 and a half years. I mean, I started right out of high school, joined the Navy, spent 5 years active duty there, decided to get out. And I actually worked for the Secret Service. I was with the Secret Service for 6 years, with President Reagan for 3 years at the White House.
Wow.
Worked with the Uniform Division, and then I went over to foreign missions for 3 years. And then I had a couple of colleagues that decided to go to the U.S. Marshal Service. So when they called me and said, "Hey, man, you got to jump on your horse and switch gears and get over here to the Marshal," I said, what the hell is the Marshal Service? I had no idea.
Really?
Riding horses? Yeah, I really didn't do my homework. I mean, I was with the Secret Service. I'm from upstate New York. Next thing I know, I look around, I'm at the White House with President Ronald Dutch Reagan. I was shaking my head. I said, man, I'm having a good old time. So anyhow, they did convince me. The U.S. Marshals was getting into the fugitive program at that point. So I did shift gears. I spent the next almost 25 years of my life the past 3 decades, hunting down the most dangerous, violent felony fugitives across the globe. As you know, Ted, and you and I go way back, but in the post 9/11 era, Congress felt it necessary to mandate the U.S. Marshals to establish permanent fugitive task forces across the country. So the New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force was the flagship or the model for the rest of the country. That was the one I was with. We had about 350 full-time investigators from over 90 different federal, state, and local agencies. And the specific mandate from Congress, the language that they used, Ted, was to target terrorists, murderers, rapists, arsonists, gun runners, the worst of the worst. So we hit the ground running May of 2002, right after 9/11. You know, the FBI was focusing on domestic terrorism, and rightfully so. But we hit the ground running. We were averaging about 100 to 110 arrests a week just in my region alone. But now the U.S. Marshals, they got 8 of these regional fugitive task forces across the country, and you know they're bringing home about 90,000 violent felony fugitives a year, all averaging anywhere from 4 to 6 prior arrests. So these are pretty bad people.
Well, I know it well because I was honored and humbled, and I use the term cock blocked and ready to rock the Glock around the clock, Doc. And I've always been that way because I'm a bow hunter, and you have to pursue a higher level of awareness, which is a prerequisite for law enforcement. Right. Because you talk about having someone's back. You know, that's a nice catchphrase and a colloquialism. But you guys, Tom Smith, we really have to have. I've conducted these federal raids with the Falcon team, the federal and local law enforcement organized locally, where we did go after rapists, murderers, carjackers, people that have stabbed and shot people, and some court, some parole board, some prosecutor, some judge determined that people who stab people but miss the artery get to go out, take an anatomy lesson, and maybe stab somebody better next time. I mean, when you go after these guys, the first thing I said, the adrenaline, I might be the only civilian, even though I don't qualify, that understands the intoxicating, dangerous adrenaline that you have to manage. Kicking down a door at 3 o'clock in the morning, I did it. My safety's off. My finger's not up here. My finger's on the trigger. This guy's rap sheet, he's stabbed and shot and raped, and we're going to go pick him up. So the first thing I say when we go to IHOP the next morning about 11 a.m. after doing raids all night, and Tom Smith and the FBI guy and the DEA guy and the Texas Ranger guy, and we're all like, we just got done playing Double Live Gonzo Live. Everybody's head's just coming up. It's the adrenaline. The first thing I asked, and I'll ask you, why are we going after these guys? Who let them out? How can you live with that question going unanswered?
That's $1 million question. I mean, we jokingly call it job security, and that is a joke because these are violent predators, Ted. These are vicious animals. I mean, I've gone after, and I saw you on those raids, and I salute you, and you know how much I love you for doing what you do as a deputized sheriff and whatnot. But, you know, the men and women that are downrange every day, 7 days a week, holidays, weekends, it doesn't matter. I miss that adrenaline. I retired a few years back, and I miss my phone going off at 3 a.m. Back then, my pager going off, my cell phone, whatever. My wife didn't miss it, but I do. And it's that adrenaline rush. You got a guy that just burnt down a trailer with 7 kids and it killed all of them, or a triple homicide suspect that you just located. You know, you hit the ground running. I mean, it's nothing like putting handcuffs on somebody that have committed those violent felonies. And it's just, but like you said, when you're standing out in front of a door at dark 30, knowing that the guy on the other side or girl doesn't want to go to jail and rather kill you, you know, before they do that, then, you know, if you don't understand that, you better get another job. But it's a dangerous job. We're well trained. As you know, Ted, I'm a huge proponent of training. Do it all the time. And we got some great instructors, and we still do, even though I retired a few years ago. But the commander now, Ed McMahon, great guy, worked for me for years. He took the reins and took off running right after Billy Plitt, who was my former deputy commander. But these guys are dedicated warriors. I mean, we're out there every morning, and you got to trust the person on your left, the person on your right. You're going through a door. You're on their turf. It's dark. and you know a triple homicide suspect or a bank robber or whoever is in that house because you've done your homework, you set that perimeter up, you got the place locked down, the noose is tightening, and knock, 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 you know, we're here, let's go. So hopefully everything goes down peaceful and everybody goes home. But you're right. Now they go to, you know, they go before a judge and they're back out on the street within minutes. And it's sad. It's a tough climate out there, Ted. You know that.
Yeah, you know, talk about hit the ground running. That's your version of cocked, locked, and ready to rock the Glock around the clock. You have to be so trained to peak your situational awareness. You can't go in half cocked. You know, what a funny little term to use. But you talked about 0630 because it is an all-night thing. Well, Lenny's got a new product out called 0630 Wear. And dark 30.
Oh, dark 30. That's it. Yeah.
Tell us. I want you to weave in how you got to the dark 30 tactical clothing line, and how somebody approached you to create the Manhunter TV show, because what you do is so dangerous. It is really behind the scenes what the U.S. Marshals and the federal agents do, and there's so many good ones because there's unfortunately some bad ones, but the dedicated sheepdogs and warriors of law enforcement, they're doing all this kind of out of sight of the civilian public. Even the fact that we do it in the middle of the night and we're kicking down doors after dark, so you got your dark 30 line of clothing, but go from just being a commando, putting your life on the line every day, that someone, I forget which network it was, either History or Discovery, where you had the Manhunter TV show, and then you finally retired from all that. You got another TV show, and you got the Zero Dark 30 clothing wear. Tell us that next chapter of Lenny DePaul's entrepreneurial jihad.
I was taught by people like you that when you retire, you're supposed to be in Southern Florida on a golf course or sitting in a tree stand, smoking a cigar and enjoying life. But that hasn't happened yet, Ted. You were wrong. Probably the first time in your life, but you were wrong. Yeah, let's go back to Manhunters. There was a couple of producers that kept calling me. We were just stood up, brand new federally funded, congressionally funded task force, kept leaving messages on my phone. Hey, listen, we got a great idea, a TV show. I'm like to myself, guys, I got no time for this. We're out there, you know, hunting the worst of the worst. And you know, I got 13 offices, the largest fugitive task force of its kind in the world, Ted. And you know, you've been there. You were up there with me. So that place is massive, 13 offices, New York, New Jersey. So they're like, let's do a TV show. Finally, one day, I pushed them over to Don Hines, was with our public affairs folks, deputy chief at the time. And he says, Lenny, he says, you're a congressionally funded task force. What a great way to show the American people on how some of their tax dollars are being spent. So I'm like, Don, I don't have time for this. I'm running a pretty large task force. No, this is positive press. Long story short, two producers come in from New York. They said, hey, this is great. It's a parole office, right? I said, well, parole's here, but so is 99 other agencies. And they looked at each other and said, oh, we hit the mother load. So fast forward, A&E was the network. We shot 62 episodes. It's still in reruns. We had 3 seasons, and it did show the great work that the men and women do with these task forces. Our federal, state, and local, the deputized U.S. Marshals. I mean, they are the best of the best, Ted. And that's what I miss. I miss that camaraderie and whatnot. So anyways, we shot three seasons of that. I did another show, Hunting Hitler, for 3 seasons on the History Channel. I'm doing a couple shows now with Fox Nation with Judge Jeanine Pirro, which actually premieres in May. And I'm currently on with Nancy Grace with America's Most Wanted Overtime, which drops into Fox Nation at 10 o'clock every Monday night. So, yeah, I'm retired, Ted. And then my wife, who you know well, Ellie, Ellie turns to me a few years back. She says, you know, I'm in the fashion business and you did what you did. Why don't we do a tactical clothing line or something? I said, Ellie, I'm retired, honey, but okay. So COVID showed up, and so did Oh Dark 30. We hit the ground running, or I should say she did. Awesome job. Put this clothing line together. Our full fall collection comes out this fall, Ted. I mean, soup to nuts with tactical clothing, pants, shirts, jackets, hats, belts, you name it, we got it. I got a couple of shirts online right now, which you're holding up now. Our website. Our website is ODark30. That's the letter O, D-A-R-K, and the number 30.com. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. Some of the stuff on there, I think I may have buy or wear a couple of things. But I like the shirt you're wearing. It looks nice.
Well, I tell you,
one
Lenny, you
the one
can
you're
tell
carrying.
the success of all your TV shows is a good and clear indicator that the citizens of America truly value the efforts and the dedication of law enforcement. That when you see these freaks, and they truly qualify as freaks, when they are complaining about crime in their neighborhoods, as the people who are demanding to defund the police are clearly committing the crimes, you can tell that the vast majority of people, just from the success of Manhunters Television and the different projects you've been involved with, and certainly with my unbelievable relationship and shared pulse with people on the not so mean streets of this country, that you really are doing God's work, that quality of life begins with safe streets. Good guys rewarded, bad guys removed. And that's what you guys dedicate yourself to. And I'm sure the successes of those TV shows and everything you've seen surrounding your law enforcement career and our fellow law enforcement heroes is a clear and unambiguous indicator that the families of this country know why they get to work safe every day in those areas where they don't defund the police and where they don't engineer recidivism. So I know every time you and I have talked and we hang out with the great men and women of NYPD, and I hang out with cops in every city and every state in this country, and not a day in my life goes by where I don't encounter a law enforcement, either current or retired. And they all know that we, the people, salute you guys, that we cherish the hard work you put in, because when our kids come home safe, it's because you guys are out there. The sheepdogs are keeping the wolves at bay so that the rest of us can have a safe day. So we've always thanked you, and we salute you for that. And you know that.
Thank you. No, I absolutely know that, Ted. And with our old Dark 30 line, we're cops selling to cops. We're first responders, Ram truck drivers, hunters like yourself. But the good part about the program, and Ellie had a great idea, let's give back. Let's give a percentage of our proceeds to the U.S. Marshals Survivors Benefit Fund,
Great.
Wounded warriors. So that we incorporated that into our project, and that's going to be up and running here this fall. So, again, we're cops selling to cops, and I've walked the walk and talked the talk, and I'm excited about it. But also, I want to just throw one thing out there. The U.S. Marshal Service, as you know, is the oldest federal law enforcement agency in this country. President George Washington appointed the first 13 U.S. Marshals in 1789. The U.S. Marshals finally, being the storied agency that it is, broke ground last year, Ted, on a U.S. Marshals Museum in Fort Smith, Arkansas. That museum is going live. I mean, it's pretty close to being done now. I actually sit on the board, and I'm excited to, you got to see this place. I mean, they do have a website. You can go online and take a look at some photos, but the Marshal Service Museum will be up and live running next year. You got to get out to Fort Smith, Arkansas. You and I, Ted, are going to make a trip there because this place is fascinating what they've done with this thing. So I'm excited about that as well. Yeah.
I'd be proud to join you there because I got a lot of U.S. Marshal friends. I got a lot of federal agent friends, a lot of law enforcement friends, and I'm going to make it a point to join you there as they progress on the construction of that. And hopefully for the grand opening, maybe they could use a fire-breathing Star-Spangled Banner for the ceremony.
You'll be standing next to me.
And I know a guy that can deliver that. You bet. Absolutely. And so your family right now, as you witness the crime at the highest level and the violating of oaths at the highest level in this country, on behalf of all the citizens of this country, Lenny, we apologize to law enforcement heroes. We apologize to the military that we were so apathetic. I wasn't. I've been fighting all the time, which is why everybody considers me a radical and why the left hates me so much. But I think the most important thing we can share with law enforcement heroes like yourself is that we're sorry we weren't more diligent. We weren't more vigilant and watching who we elected to represent us, because that oath that you take, I take it every 4 years in Lake County, Michigan, as a deputy sheriff there. And I know what those words mean. And when I see the president and the vice president and his entire administration, they literally violate their oath, at least on a daily level. So we have a lot of work ahead of us. And I think you would agree that when people make the horrible, disconnected statement, irresponsible statement that, hey, I'm not into politics. You know, you really have to be into politics in America. An experiment in self-government is where the citizens are in charge and we have the authority over our government. And I always tell everybody they have to call their mayor just to tell them that we want law enforcement respected. Call your mayor, say that we believe in law and order. Call your senator and your congressman and your governor. Tell them our family, my family wants law and order. We support the cops. And in the absence of that vocalized, consistent voice and statement, we are now sitting in the America of 2021. And I'm not giving up, and I know you're not, Lenny. You've got a lot of stuff going. But let's make it a point where you and we've got the Spirit Campfire tonight. And I know you and your buddies, you'll often call me when you're sitting around a real campfire with some stogies puffing away, talking about the good old days and the good old future days.
That's
One
right.
of these days, we got to have you guys down here, Mark Miller and the guys, and Tom Smith and Jody and all our brothers. We're going to come to Spirit Wild Ranch. And we're going to get a bonfire going and chew on some Cubans.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that, Ted. I talk to Craig Kane all the time. He's like, "When are we going down to Ted's place?" But we'll get that done. But back up a little bit. I mean, I keep my finger on the pulse, as I'm sure you're aware, with the folks in my former task force, and I say my prayers every night. I mean, the climate is tough for these guys. I mean, they're going after violent predators, as I said before. And these are the men and women that are downrange doing God's work. I think it was George Orwell once said, people sleep peaceably in their beds at night because rough men stand ready to do harm on their behalf. Well, these are the men and women that are doing this type of work. So you can sleep at night. You're going to defund those people? But I crack up. I watch the news. I hear it's like, call 911. Somebody call the cops. Well, they're not going to show up because you haven't paid them in 3 months. It's just ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why. I get the big picture, but it's it's certainly out of my pay grade. But we're in a sad situation right now. But it can only get better. I went through New York City not long ago, and God, the graffiti, the boarded up buildings, the lawlessness, the craziness that goes. The NYPD. And you and I were there a few months back with Mark Wilson and got a nice tour and a boat ride and whatever. But, you got to salute these people. I mean, they are out there doing God's work. They're in these horrible and depressed areas. And who's suffering is grandma calling 911 that just was burglarized and, God forbid, raped or whatever. Nobody's showing up because they're afraid to, they're going to lose a pension or they're going to get their, something happen with them or whatnot. So it's a tough environment. It is, but it's got to get better.
It's a tough time, but there's a great spirit still alive and well in the streets of this country. And I could be spoiled and given a false confidence because everybody in my life is positive. Everybody in my life is law abiding. Everybody in my life believes in God, family, country, and law enforcement. Everybody in my life knows that it's cultural and literal suicide to defund the police. So, Lenny, you're not alone. I'm with you, and I appreciate you coming on the Spirit Campfire.
Thank you.
Best of luck with your Zero Dark 30 clothing line. I love your beautiful wife and everybody out there. And you and I will have a real campfire ASAP. But thank you for your hard work, and I'm glad you survived all those Zero Dark 30 raids because you were in the eye of the ballistic storm going after people who would have just loved to kill you.
Thank God I got out of there with no holes in me, Ted. I got a lot of great stories, and the folks I work with are nothing but the best, and they are trained warriors, and they continue to do God's work. So I thank you for your support as well. You've been with us throughout the years, and your voice is instrumental, and it certainly helps the men and women to hear somebody like you, talk about us. So I salute you, sir.
Well, back at you, Lenny. Godspeed. Good luck. Have a great spring and summer, and I hope to see you as soon as possible, man.
Yes, sir. You will. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. Godspeed.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, well, that was another example. I know John's going to be upset that he missed out on that one because Lenny really is the tip of the law enforcement, law and order spear, and he represents that heart and soul, that warrior willingness to kick down that door going after a guy that would just as soon snuff out an innocent life as take another breath himself. So knowing guys like that, a lot of people wonder where I get all this piss and vinegar and all this attitude, and it's because I hang out with guys like Lenny DePaul and Tom Smith and the men and women of the Texas Rangers and the great Parnell McNamara right here in McLennan County, Texas, who was a retired U.S. Marshal who worked with Lenny DePaul and Tom Smith and the U.S. Marshals all his life. And he is now probably the best sheriff in North America, along with Rich Martin up there in Lake County. So we have a lot of great warriors out there. And I would like to take a moment here and let everybody know that the reason we are able to support the things that you believe in, to celebrate and rave and uncompromisingly deliver the things that we all believe in, is because this Spirit Campfire is supported by one of the great warriors of the culture war, Mike Lindell. I mean, do not underestimate how the left hates me and they hate Mike Lindell. They've been trying to destroy my career since the 1960s. They've been trying to destroy Mike Lindell's business, My Pillow, since he stepped up and supported Donald Trump, supported God, family, country, law and order, law enforcement. So don't underestimate what it means when you support someone who has stood up for what you believe in. Believe me, I know why you bought those Reelect That Mofo hats. I know why you bought 50,000 of those. First of all, it's the coolest hat that's ever been autographed by the coolest autographer in the history of middle finger flamage. But you also did it because you were showing support for me. I know why you're buying these hats faster than I can sign them. You go to tednugent.com, you can get a come and take it hat. By the way, people keep asking, not very many, one out of about 20,000, but still people go, what is that on there? Is that a cannon? They're not coming to take your cannons, are they? It's a historical image. There was a time, right around the time of the Alamo, when the good guys in Texas got a hold of Santa Anna's cannon. See if I got the story right. And we took their cannon, and Santa Anna's punk-ass tyrants were going to come and take their cannon back, and the Texans went, go ahead, come and take it. So that's what that hat and that's what that flag represents. And I know that even without my greasy Motor City signature on it, I know it would still be a great, great battle cry indicator. But I know you're supporting it because the left, the media, academia, Hollywood, they just lie and hate about me every day. The things they say are just vulgar and toxic. So thank you for support. And if you want autographed Nugent, come and take it, flaggage and hat, you can go to tednugent.com. But also, Mike Lindell stood up. He jeopardized his entire business, his entire income. So I'm going to tell you that Mike Lindell, the inventor and CEO of My Pillow, by the way, my dogs, a lot of people didn't know that Mike Lindell's My Pillow makes the coolest dog beds in the world. Shemaine and I actually snuggle on the Mike Lindell My Pillow dog beds. They come in mossy elk, and they're super snuggle. The dogs love it. I actually spoon Coco on a My Pillow dog bed. But anyhow, if you want to get those, Mike Lindell, the inventor and CEO of My Pillow, wants to give back to the Spirit Campfire listeners. Mike Lindell supports Ted Nugent. That means he supports you. He stands up against political correctness. He stands up against the criminal cancel culture punks. He stands up against the censorship of high-tech Nazis. This is a brave guy, Mike Lindell. You can get great discounts on all My Pillow products if you go to mypillow.com and click on Radio Listener Specials, plural. Go to mypillow.com and click on Radio Listeners Specials. You can get deep discounts on My Pillows, the mattress, the toppers, the dog beds. I hope the dog beds, the towels, and more. Like the buy one, get one free offer on Giza sheets. I could use a Giza sheet. Normally I don't give a sheet, but tonight I give a sheet. All My Pillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Go to mypillow.com and click on Radio Listener Special. Just do it, if for no other reason, to get a great quality product from a risk-taking man in the arena, Mike Lindell, My Pillow guy, and also to send a message to those that are trying to destroy this man that we're not going to let you destroy him. We're going to stand up for somebody who stands up for us. So go to mypillow.com and click on radio listener specials. Buy one, get one free, and enter a promo code. Here you go. Enter the promo code SPIRIT, all capital letters, SPIRIT. Promo code SPIRIT, or you can call 800-945-9175. 800-945-9175. Make sure, I don't know if Toby's listening, but Linda, put that on my front page of my website and on all my social media. Enter the promo code at mypillow.com, SPIRIT, all capital letters, or call 800-945-9175 for these special discounts. Use the promo code SPIRIT. So that's my rave about a guy who deserves to be raved about. And now I will go into the gory details. What time is it? It's only 8:46 Texas time. So that means I got another 14 minutes to raise hell. And without John Brenkus here telling him about his windsurfing and his wake surfing and that he loves everybody and that he's a liberal. I love John Brenkus. John Brenkus is my blood brother. This guy is like a shit kicker with a cute haircut. I love John Brenkus, but I hope he's having a wonderful time with his family, because I am going into a tirade here, and I'm going to play something where the lyrics really, really mean everything. Ooh, listen to that guitar. Those are some pretty good notes. I mean, I like... just thought I would play that. I'm feeling that because last Thursday night with John Kutz and Johnny Big on bass guitar and drums, I'm telling you, we played some crankouts that were just out of body. Spectacular. A big salute to Tim and Ashley Tucker. A big salute to John Kutz on drums. A Waco slammer. Right here, I got another killer rhythm section. Just like all the incredible rhythm sections I've had since 1956 with Jason Hartless and Greg Smith. I miss you guys. Jason, Greg, I love you guys. I miss you guys. I'll be coming up to Michigan at some point. We're going to find some place to plug in and jam, just like we do here in Waco with the Ted Nugent Greasy Speakeasy at Tucker Hall every Thursday night. And we're going to find some other places around Texas, too, because I'm not locking down. I don't lock down. I like a bird. I'm like a free bird. I mean, I could write a song called Free Bird and have a band called Leonard Skinner and play it. But I'm a free bird. And we're going to unleash the greatest songs in the world. I've got the best songs. I mean, just think. We played Dog Eat Dog the other night. And just think how perfect that song is. Great lick. Are you kidding me? Kamikaze from the 100th floor. A swan dive to the street. He couldn't handle the madhouse no more. He craved that sweeter meat. He craved that sweeter meat. Don't you love it when I go? Just a little Ted Nugent guitar unleashing on the Spirit Campfire because I love number 17. Look how pretty. I mean, look at that. Look how pretty number 17 is. The master craftsman at Gibson Guitars. I think this is my 5,000th concert custom guitar. Either way, I love this guitar. What tone? Do we have time to talk about tone? I think we do. I have 5 more minutes. Listen, you heard how aggressive that sounds. But it also, when I go from the back pickup to the front pickup for the solo, it goes from the real nasty grind, this sound. cleanups. Don't you just love that? It kind of goes into uncharted territory. And that was way back when I just went into hyper gonzo Chuck Berry with them. I love that part. But anyhow, so that's the little dynamo hum of grinding guitar tones to smooth, pretty guitar tones right here in a Birdland. What was I playing a little while ago? I was dicking around with earth tones, which you started the show off with, that beautiful. Isn't that pretty? And then I started dicking around with a new song called Spirit Tones. And it was. Some pretty shit right there. Spirit tones. You saw it come to life right here on the Spirit Campfire. Well, big thank you to Lenny DePaul. A big thank you to Courtney and Herbert and John and everybody out there. A super thank you to Mike Lindell and all the sponsors that I mentioned tonight that support the Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild TV show. And certainly the fact that I have created the Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild TV show to promote and celebrate conservation, to celebrate the killing of game, to balance the herd, save the habitat for production of clean air, soil, and water, while feeding my family in soup kitchens and homeless shelters and the band and the crew and the neighbors with the purity of renewable, sustained yield, organic venison. Literally, hunting is perfect. And if you're not a hunter, I know a lot of Spirit Campfires out there are hunters. But if you've never done it, I'm telling you, get yourself a bow and arrow. A salute to Matthews. I got a new Matthews that Brian Shootback at Shootback Sporting Goods in Jackson, Michigan put together, the TRX. And it is such a shooter. The finest bow. I'm shooting out to 75 yards. And if I get a shot at an unsuspecting herbivore at 75 yards, sharpen your knives. Get out the garlic and butter. Because Uncle Ted's going to whack and stack. I'm going to track. I'm going to pack and hack. I'm going to give him no slack, Jack, because it's dinner on the hoof. And God wants me to manage that with a sharp stick. So this is the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire number. I'm going to find out. Linda, get me a number. I want to get a number, so I want to know what number this is. It's got to be like over 100 maybe, something like that. But anyhow, thank you, John. John, have a nice vacation. The dogs are looking for me. Today is April 5, 2021. Hang in there. I know our government is the enemy of America. I know that you're insane if you lock down your country but open your borders to unvetted, untested people. You can't get dumber than that. You can't get dumber to complain about crime and then defund the police. You can't be dumber than to see a guy ram his car into the security detail at the Capitol and stab somebody and ask for gun control. Here's a little tip. Here's a little truth, logic, and common sense tip for everybody. Bad guys are not waiting for the 27,000th gun control law. Chicago's not prosecuting guys caught with smoking guns. No, literally a smoking gun. They're caught with a smoking gun 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And they're let out again. Engineered recidivism. Call your mayor, call your senator, call your congressman, call your governor. Let them know that we aren't going to take it anymore. You got to start going after the good guys and start going after the bad guys. My name is Ted Nugent. This is the Spirit Campfire. My guitar does not gently weep. I do not gently weep. I do not give up. I do not give in. I do not bend over, Rover. Let Teddy take over. Thank you for your piss and vinegar, your spirit, your attitude, your support. Thank you for supporting our Spirit of the Wild television show on Outdoor Channel and all its sponsors. Those sponsors, they are going way above and beyond the call of duty, supporting me because I support you. They're supporting you. You should support them. And a big salute to Mike Lindell. Don't let the cancel culture crush these guys. Support those that stand up for the things we believe in. And check out Lenny DePaul's website, zerodark30.com. I bet you that's it. Zero Dark 30. Get yourself some commando wear to support a great hero of law enforcement. The guy is lucky to be alive after some of the scum he went after so you can have a safe neighborhood and a safe life. God bless America. God bless the law enforcement and the military. Freedom is not free. Raise hell. Experiment in self-government. All of us, all of you. I'm doing it. I'll see you here next week. What time is it? It's 9:02 Texas time, so I'm 2 minutes late. Courtney, I love you. Herbert, I love you. John, have a nice vacation. I will see you guys ASAP. My name's Ted Nugent. I got this life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness down to like a hunting trip. And the guitar is ready to rock. See you in Waco at Tucker Hall Thursday night on Highway 6 at 8 p.m. I love y'all. Live it up.